So recently there was this vlogger who got into a lot of controversy around his own divorce. Now, he came out in public and said that it's not right to discuss someone else's personal life on social media. Now, that's a fair argument to make. You shouldn't be discussing your personal life on social media. But this is coming from a creator who literally vlogged his own children's birth. And along with that, this person also ensured that both his children do not spend a single day where they are not in front of the camera. He ensured that their childhood is out in the open for everyone to see. Sounds absolutely messed up, right? Well, it gets worse, and you are going to be shocked when you get to know the reality of this industry where parents use their kids for money and views. So, have you ever wondered why all these Bollywood celebrities, athletes prefer not to show their children's faces on social media? Think about this for a second. You would assume that many celebrities and athletes absolutely love PR and promotions, but in spite of that, they prefer hiding their children's identities on social media. Well, the only reason they do this is because they know how bad it is for your child when they acquire fame at an early age, because that often accompanies a terrible childhood and even worse adulthood, and more importantly, exploitation. You might know a lot of creators, more specifically vloggers, that believe in putting their children's lives out in public. They would cover every single thing that their child does and get millions of views through this. In this video, I'm going to break down how documenting your child's life and putting it in the public eye could literally mean the worst thing for them and also for you as a creator. Not only does this have a social element to it, but it would also mean destroying your own career if you plan on becoming a vlogger and putting your life out in public. Through this video, I'm going to open your eyes towards an epidemic that is plaguing our society, and that is exploiting your children for views. So before we talk about how exploiting your own children for the sake of views and money became relevant, there is another industry that you need to understand about. This would give you a lot more background. So before all these vloggers, creators, parents started putting their children's lives out in public, there was another industry that had an extremely dark background which was invisible to the common public. This was the industry of child actors. Now picture this, okay? You are a child, and at the tender age of 7 or 8, everything that you experience is similar to royalty. Every time you go to school, there is a bunch of people waiting to click pictures with you. There are teachers that give you special treatment. You always get to click great pictures with actors like Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, and you also get to chill with them. Well, I'm sure this sounds like the dream, right? But what you don't know is that this also comes with endless levels of exploitation. You have to work 12 to 15 hours at a stretch without sleep. Many times most people do not care about what you are interested in. Your parents are simply looking at you as a cash cow. And God forbid, should you end up on the unlucky side of things, then you might even get exploited physically. So the Bollywood actress Daisy Irani, who started her career as a child actor, came out publicly and stated that she was raped at the tender age of 6. She cautioned people about the dark reality of the industry. She told people to not enroll their children in child acting auditions. And you know what the worst part is? This industry ensured that all of these child actors have significantly more difficult or worse futures as they become adults. And I'll tell you why. Because at a very early age, you experience fame. You experience life that is nothing like the real life. You do not know what it is like to work for a few hours and earn a living wage. You have not come to terms with the fact that earning money is not easy peasy lemon squeezy, but it's actually difficult, lemon difficult. Many of these child actors ended up having inflated egos. They simply refused to work at a job. They ended up having an extremely skewed vision of the real world. They would think that everything that happens on set is pretty much what happens in real life. They did not have proper development because they did not go to school. So most child actors would spend maximum time on set, and they would simply have to go to school to give the exams. And guess what? All of these schools were also incredibly supportive, and they would pass these children. So the schooling phase for a child actor looked somewhat like this. You didn't actually end up going to school. You would simply go there to sit for your exams. And the schools were also incredibly supportive, and they would let you pass these exams without much fuss. You didn't socialize, you didn't go to class, you did not play with your friends when in fact the time was ripe for you to do these things. But wait a minute, why have I discussed child actors for such a long time in this video? Well, that is because after cheap and fast internet became accessible in India, this culture of exploiting our own children for views, money and fame got democratized. Now it wasn't just the parents of child actors that were doing it, it was pretty much any person who didn't think twice about the benefit of their own child and decided to simply make some content. So after internet became cheap in India, there were so many parents who simply started vlogging their children every single day. And guess what? They got millions of views. There were actual airline pilots that quit their high-paying job all to switch to YouTube full-time because posting videos of your children doing cute stuff was just as easy. And guess what? It paid you the big bucks. You would be shocked to find out how much money childcare brands are willing to pay creators to use their products on their children on camera. Let's say there's a creator with 1 million subscribers on YouTube who vlogs their kids' childhood for a living. They could make easily north of 5 to 7 lakh rupees or 500 to 700,000 rupees per video integration. And honestly, this democratization of the internet, which made it cheaper to create content, has made it so much worse for so many children. I'll tell you a personal incident. I was at the screening of a movie very recently and I saw a child influencer here. Basically, the parents created content with the child in frame and they made money. Now, that kid was absolutely adorable and my father is someone who happens to love children. He says that they remind him of my childhood. So, my father happened to play with that kid and click a few pictures with him. Now, as soon as the mother clicked pictures of my father and her own kid, she requested him to post it on his Instagram story. Why? Because she wanted her child to grow on social media. And in this moment, I really wanted to say, woman, your kid is 7 years old. He should not be growing on social media. That shouldn't be your goal for him. However, sadly, because of the way society has evolved over time, many parents think that it is okay to use your kids for money and vicariously live through them because in the end, it makes the parents also feel famous. Now, I'll give you 2 very good reasons to not do this bullshit and use your kids for views. And believe me, one reason is extremely business driven and I'll explain how this hurts your career as a creator more than it helps it. And the second reason obviously has a social angle to it. However, if you've been watching up until this point, consider subscribing to the channel because we keep dropping such high value videos every single week. So firstly, let's keep all emotions aside. If you believe that exploiting your kids for views is okay, making money from them is fine, then get this. It is not going to last long. Because objectively speaking, people absolutely adore kids. Why? Because they're cute, but kids grow up. As your kid will grow, you would not be able to monetize them for content. Secondly, as a creator who's been in business for 4 years myself, I believe in one simple rule. No matter what, do not post your personal life on the internet. And I have extremely strong business reasons for doing this. So there are a lot of creators who believe in vlogging their own lives and oversharing what they're up to on the internet. I'll tell you the problem with that. When you do this, it gets you a lot of views in the beginning. However, as your time passes, as you grow as a creator, you would lose the aura and the mystery that you've had around your personality. I've been a creator for 4 years now and never have I once posted a picture with my friends, my mother, my cousins. I will rarely post stories if I'm at a new restaurant or in another country. Why? Because I believe that the relationship that you have with your audience needs to be strictly transactional if you want to grow in the long term as a creator. The transaction here meaning I am creating high value content and my audience is watching me for the said high value content. There is absolutely no personal exchange happening here. Because the moment you start oversharing, the moment you start becoming personal online, the commodity that is being exchanged is your personality. And guess what? Your personality will come to an end, right? There is only so much about your life that you can share. I mean, think about it. In the end, we are all average people. There is not a lot of interesting things that happen in our life every single day. Think about it. Wouldn't there be a day where you would just run out of things to say? There is a reason why celebrities like Ranbir Kapoor do not have an Instagram account. Why? Because they want to maintain that mystery. They want their audiences to love them for the work that they do, not for the life that they live. Another very realistic question. Do you remember Darshil Safari from Tare Zameen Par? Yeah, I do. Do you know what he looks like now? Well, you've never bothered to look. Well, it's not like he's not done great work even as an adult, but we simply associate with him with his childhood identity. This is the problem of early fame. Your stint as a child actor, your stint as a child influencer, or simply as a character in your parents' vlogs would only last you so long. And on top of that, along with the numerous issues that it creates for you, it would also overshadow every single thing that you do as an adult. All those negatives that we discussed that come with being a child actor, like a terrible childhood, lack of social skills, an extremely unrealistic view of the real world, all of those are common even in this industry. And obviously, the second reason that you do not need to be doing this is because you want your child to have a normal childhood. You want your child to go to school. You want your child to socialize with other kids. You want your child to play. You want to be doing everything in your capacity as a parent to ensure that the child has a great future. If you willingly put your child in circumstances that ensure that the child is not exposed to the real world, then don't you think that the real world would be way more difficult for it when it grows up? Many child actors also reported that they got bullied at school purely because they were famous. All of that fame that comes in at that early age comes with a lot of terms and conditions and curses. Anyway, I can promise you that I would not be posting my personal life on this account. However, what I would be posting are great, informative, high value case studies. If you're into that, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.